All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Jab Podcast. It's episode 151. Of course, I'm Combo Breaker 99.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy P.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, P. Man, this is the new year. First episode. By the time we put this out, it might be a day or two later. But yeah, we're doing this on the first, man. 2023, another year behind us, man. What's been going on with you, P? How's your new year so far? I mean, we only 18 hours in.
A couple hours in, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's still kind of too early to say, but
right.
I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, that's all that's what we've been doing for a while. Just take it at one day at a time. Then we look back. That's the best way to do it. Every time you try to look ahead, man, that just be frustrating, be stressful, man. Can't do it that way.
Yeah.
But man, P, we've been doing this for a minute now, and I think out of the years that we've been doing this, I think 2022 to me has kind of been one of the slower years of boxing in the past. I say 5 years since we've been on here. What about you, man? Like for some reason, ain't just been hitting on anything.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the slower years from boxing, like outside of the pandemic. You know what I mean? And of course, that slowed things down a little bit, but everything is wide open now, and it still was just a slow year, man. Fights not really getting made. By fights not getting made, it's making other fights not getting made, and it just turned out to be a slow year, bro.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how fighters are like spaced out with it, not like mentally spaced out, but like how they perform now. Like fighters be doing like one fight a year now. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, like for me to put these fighters sometimes today in the same categories like the ones we were growing up to, because every year they would be active, like putting their stamp on the game. But it just seems like everybody nowadays comes along only for like this one big signature fight, and then they're gone again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, but that's a problem though, and that goes back to just the money that's out there now.
Yeah,
a guy can afford to fight one time a year. Back in the day, you couldn't afford to fight. The average fighter couldn't just afford to fight one time a year. You know True. What I mean? Sugar Ray or maybe a bigger name, maybe they could have, but the average fighter couldn't afford to fight one time a year. It's like now, a guy, like you say, get one big fight lined up and he can fight one time a year, financially anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've just been noticing that like every now and then we look up and we're like, okay, this is a fight we're looking forward to. But then the next time you want to see the guy, he's gone. You know what I mean? Like he just does one fight a year. It's like, come on, like there still has to be some type of it has to be some type of like the UFC. I mean, the UFC, they don't make as much money as boxers, but they're under contract to perform, to still like bring in a fan base for not just the UFC, but for a particular fighter, right? Like,
right.
They still show up enough to make somebody a big fan of them. Like, it's hard to be a fan of a fighter now when they only do once a year. Like, they're fighters I like, but man, it's like when Roy was fighting, it's like, wow, like the dude was fighting at least 2-3 times a year. And he was giving everybody performances so they could go back and look on. Now, dudes now hardly be breaking 30 fights almost. They do get maybe like 31 fights,
So, but think about that, Ant. That's why we seeing a lot of different things, man, because at the end of the day, even if financially you can afford to fight one time a year, that's still not conducive to a fighter, Ant. You can't fight at a high level and only fight once a year.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing the rest of the year?
Right.
That's why we seeing guys blowing up, partaking in all these extracurricular activities, getting sidetracked, because that's too much downtime, man, for a fighter. It's too much downtime. Most of these guys in the prime of their career or about to peak and hit their prime of their career, and you fighting one time a year, one night. You know what I'm saying? That one night, you got a training camp and you fight. Outside of that, the rest of the year, you got to let your mind wander and get into things that probably ain't the best for you. So it's just like, it don't even make sense for a guy, in my opinion, to fight once a year if you're a high level elite fighter. You know, you call yourself a champion. You know, you injured, that's one thing, but just on a regular basis, this new model that we see in that, fighting once a year, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we was getting Floyd twice a year. We thought that was bad. Now we, like you say, we getting guys once a year.
Yeah. That's why it makes me, really surprised. Like if we do get Tank fighting 2 times, in the first quarter or the first half of 2023, that's going to be wild. It's going to be wild if you can actually get a guy to do that now.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, P. Like, we ain't really speaking on it like, oh, like we just big media platform. We speaking on the hardcore as hardcore fans, and like hardcore boxing fans been around forever. Watching the sport, seeing different eras. I know even like you probably feel the same way. It's like if something ain't sitting right with you, you're going to be real with it, right? Just say, oh, hey, this year wasn't like last year, because we still hold it to a certain standard. You know what I mean?
Right. Because and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. What's changed? You still got boxing. You still got boxing fans. Nothing has changed. So it's like, why should we lower our standards? I mean, from our perspective, nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? From a fan perspective.
What there was a few good things last year. Like what was I got a few things that did stand out for me, P. Like what was something that stood out for you last year though? Like a couple of moments in boxing.
I mean, just right off the top of my head, and I
ain't
probably
even got to be good or bad, but just something that just kind of made you say, "Wow."
Well, the first thing that kind of came to my head is Haney going to Australia by herself and taking the belts from Kambosos at 23 years old. I thought that spoke volumes of his heart, and just pretty much the heart, having the heart and the courage to do something like that. You know what I mean? Being a young man and going over there and pulling it off. But like I said, and it was a slow year, but it was a few. We had a few shining moments, as always. But not the year we could have had, by no means.
Yeah, man, Devin going over to Australia, getting the belts, and then going back to defend it, man. That was kind of major, especially for a young kid now. Like, he settled for the letting him have the hometown advantage. He let Kambosos have the hometown advantage. Even was able to humble himself, take less in this fight. I think Devin just kind of showed the making of showing the making of like a true champion, somebody that's on the way to doing big things. And I got to respect that. So yeah, when I saw him do that, I was like, wow, that was something I've been waiting on to see somebody do. And then when he did the rematch, he was like, hey, we'll go back over there and do it again. I don't care. I'll whoop you again, And you don't really see too many guys do that now. I mean, Wilder and Fury in the heavyweight division, they'll do it. But outside of that, it's always like, I'm the A side. What is he proving? He's not good enough. But yeah, that was a standout moment for me too, man. But I think one of the things that you mentioned before we started was one of the things that should have everybody's mind kind of at attention is how these YouTubers are taking over. YouTubers are kind of taking over now, man. They're taking that business model of boxing and making more money off of it, than the actual fighters. Like, what was your take on that this year with like the Paul brothers kind of making more money than some of the fighters, man?
like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but from a business standpoint, I mean, I couldn't hate. They found a lane, found a niche, and got in it and ran with it. Stuff like that. And I mean, me personally, I'm interested trying to find my niche. So when I seen them do that, it was just like, okay, things are out there. You know what I'm saying? Of course, these guys had different resources, but they still just found a niche, an opening in the game that nobody was doing and ran with it. Yeah. So from just, coming from YouTube to being kind of respected in the fight game a little bit, I got to respect them from that. But I feel like the boxers let that happen. You know what I mean? They gave room for stuff like that to slide in. You know what I mean? If we was having top-notch fights every weekend, you wouldn't be able to slide this mess in. Not on this scale, you wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's true, man. Like, the UFC just kept coming with cards like back to back. So with MMA, it's like there's no room for BS. Like that's what Dana White was always talking about, not entertaining that type of stuff. But like boxing,
exactly.
With boxing, it's like when you're not making the best fights, somebody like Logan Paul, whatever his name is, Jake Paul, they're gonna be on the sideline thinking, man, like they're making a bunch of fights people don't want to see. Let me see what I can do. If people don't want to see them, I'm just as popular, but I can train maybe 40% or 20% like a fighter and get fans to come out. You know what I mean? He can put like 2 and 2 together with that and say, people want to see somebody fight. Let me get halfway decent, if that. And along the way, I can sign Amanda Serrano and a few other fighters and get them more money than they ever had. So, yeah, I think that was like something that these fighters just weren't hip to, and they're going to lose out in the long run, man. Like, right now they're saying, oh, I got all the money I need and this and that. But eventually when their stock goes down and Jake Paul is going to go up, they're going to be mad,
Right. I mean, because that's the new model, I mean, even something like a BLK Prime was able to come in the game and just to come in the game, period. And something like that just couldn't even come in the game a few years ago. Right. So now it's all these openings because of the nonsense that's really going on, man. So like, what can you say? And then like you say, in the same token, Jake is capitalizing on a lot of different aspects. He is building some allies because he's talking about getting fighters paid, and has a couple legit fighters, under his realm, I mean, just doing a few things. They're really shaking the game up, man. I mean, he's going in there with some former world champions, whether they were a former world champion in another discipline or not. He's still kind of just making them look like they was nothing. You know what I mean? You talking about a guy who say, I've been training since I was 12, and the guy can step in 4 or 5 years and come in and catch up with, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of different things that Jake really doing right now. That's kind of interesting because, from a combat sport fan, you would think there ain't no way in the world somebody could catch up with somebody in a couple of years, even if they are on the downslide. But I mean, Jake showing that, yeah, I mean, I mean, it can be done. It can be done. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, people would still say, oh, he a former world, he's still dangerous, which they are dangerous to an average person. But, I wouldn't think Jake Paul would be going in there knocking out a Tyron Woodley. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have thought that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Or knocking Silver down or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and dropping Silver. I wouldn't have thought that, man. So, I that even opened my eyes and make me look at it a little different. You know what I'm saying? No, not taking credit from either side, but just like, wow, because he is exposing something that we never really seen before. You know what I mean? So, like I say, man, I mean, he found a lane. He found the opening and ran with it. You know, like I say, I'm not the biggest fan of what he's doing. I mean, I don't even know if what he's doing is 100% real, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he making a lot of money, you know, and he doing some good things with the money.
Yeah, because
You
what
know,
I
he
hear from
doing some good
Showtime,
things.
I don't know, like there was rumors out there that what was it, but he got a contract with Showtime, so he don't have to lose a fight. So I don't know, man. Like it's all
Yeah, that's
strict
what
with him to win.
yeah. So I'm just saying, you know, I mean, because you got to realize that the minute he wins, it's over. A minute he loses, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that aura is over right now. Like I say, he's saying, I'm a guy who's trained for 5 years, and I'm going out here with guys who've done this their whole life and knocking them out. You know what I mean? So the minute he go down, it's kind of going to be over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be over. So, I mean, like I say, I wouldn't be surprised. Showtime wouldn't sign a deal with him unless it was something guaranteed. You know what I mean? He wasn't a world champion. You know what I mean? He wasn't a world champion. What guarantee did they have that he would be able to generate unless he's undefeated? So, you know, that's very well possible, you know, but still at the end of the day, the lackluster boxing this year opened up a window for more of this stuff too. And you know, 2021, 2022, you know, the last few years since this stuff has really been growing, that it's been because the sport has been, you know, not really producing. I do, but that's part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Because you know, last year or the year before that, there was more fights, so there really wasn't room for it. But you know, even like now, with the way they were moving, with so much talk with Errol and Crawford fighting but not fighting, it just made so much room for fans to want something. And you know, he came in and gave them something. You know, the Paul brothers did, and whether you like it or not, you know, you got to blame your favorite fighters. You know, you got to blame them now. But
Yeah, which is a good thing. I
yeah, it's a
mean,
good
maybe
thing.
it's time that they get, you know, some fire under them. That's why I say, like, you know, they catching a lot of heat online about different stuff, but it's just like, you know, they not for me, but I do get it. You know what I'm saying? That I do
Oh
get
yeah,
it because it's just like, you know, the fans getting a little fed up.
yeah, man. I don't know about you, man, but the fans they've been going in, man. Like
They. That's why I say, hey, not me,
not me.
but it's a
Yeah,
war. It's a war out there right now, right?
yeah,
It's a war out there. You know what I'm saying? It's a war going on. So you know what I mean? And they on their heels. Neither Earl or Terrence can't post nothing without something, just without somebody going in. So it's just like, you
yeah. I
know,
mean,
but that's
yeah. It could be a post about them just doing something with their family, and somebody like fight Errol or you know fight
yeah,
Crawford. You
you
know,
ducking exactly,
Kentucky.
exactly, bro, exactly, exactly. So like I say, in one aspect, they ain't letting them forget about it. They keeping them on their toes and letting them know that this thing really ain't gonna just go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, and it might, you know, help us get the fight sooner with the online people staying on their heels.
Mm-hmm. You know, when it comes down to it's like I don't know what anybody in this fight or behind the scenes could think. Like we have to wait longer and longer when now's the time to make this one. Because me and you've been discussing this for a while. It's like Spence and Crawford is not Mayweather or Pacquiao. There's nothing about them that makes me say this is that big of a fight. This is just a fight that needs to happen. And that's what I think pisses people off about this. Like to me, honestly, Floyd and Manny, they could have never fought. I would have been fine. You know why? Because they had enough of a legacy on their own to stand on, you know?
On their own. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I can agree with that, you know. And the thing about it is that, you know, Terrence Crawford, 35, Earl 32. I don't think they will ever be as big as Floyd and Manny because they behind already. You know what I'm saying? Not in the, I'm not disrespecting them, but I'm just saying as far as resumes, they behind already.
Mm-hmm.
At that age, Manny and Floyd had a resume that far surpassed theirs. You know what I mean? So it's like they're kind of in a situation where it's like now or never because y'all aging out.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all aging
Exactly.
out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all aging out. They was legends that were aging out. Y'all not legends, but y'all aging out.
Yeah, because every which way you look, it's like, okay, you got belts, but like, who are these guys on your resume? You know what I mean? Like, they're good names, but like, what about the number of good legends you got? Like Manny, Floyd, they were just racking them up in the meantime. When the fight wasn't happening, Manny still could fight Shane Mosley or Antonio Margarito. You know what I mean? Like he's still fighting other guys that would still keep his legacy intact. Same with Floyd. Um, but these two, it's like they really need each other. If they're gonna be in the same division, they need each other. This is a fight that
For,
people ain't gonna ignore.
yeah, for so many reasons. It's like, you know what I mean? And then if not, y'all kind of holding up the division. You know what I'm saying too, and it's getting to that point too. You know what I mean? Because there's other people floating around that do want to get it popping with y'all and with other people. You know what I mean? But y'all got the jewels.
Yep. Because this weekend, on the tank called Boots, he fighting, and Boots is already talking about what he want to do. So, this is a fight that needed to happen because Boots he coming. This kid Stan Yosas, Virgil Ortiz, the new breed is already on the come up, man, and they still ain't fought. So it's like, what's
That's what I'm
going
saying.
on?
They over there aging out, and that's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good because, like you say, the batters up or the next up is there already.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I mean, that's been like the highlight of Spence and Crawford this past year, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, there was a good moment, Errol. He did get the 3-belt unification. He picked up the 3rd belt from Ugas. But even then, like, I ain't knocking that fight. It was a good fight, but there was the fight where it was supposed to be Manny, and I think that would have been a bigger cap for him on his career than, or bigger notch on his belt. But when it came out to be Ugas, it was good, but it would have been better if it was Manny. You know what I mean? At the time, man, that was when he got the detached retina, right? And that knocked back. Yeah, so that was a highlight, but still, like the whole Crawford thing not happening at the end of the year, kind of like it put a dark cloud over anything that we're doing in the ring, which is just disappointing.
It overshadowed everything. Like you said, that the Ugas and Spence fight was a good fight. It wasn't what we had. We kind of had in our minds of Manny and Spence. We didn't get that. It wasn't that fight, but it still turned out to be a good fight.
Oh yeah.
But the elephant in the room was just this fight and just them acting like this fight is not that important. It's crazy, ain't? Because they, sometimes they so nonchalant about the fight. You know what I mean? When it get brought up to them that, it make us. We know they want it, but I don't know. It's just like I don't know. Sometimes I do feel like this might not happen because, both of them, might just be nonchalant about the fight when I know they tired of getting asked about it. I know, but what they expect from people.
Yeah, both of them are just like too comfortable, to really want it. Like they don't show the same hunger and like almost like animosity towards one another. Like even with the little Twitter war they had back in November, it was like there wasn't real tension behind it. Like when you go to somebody's gym or you go to their press conference. Like I said, like even when you don't see Errol show up at Terrence's fight or vice versa, you're not really getting the energy that they really want to make the fight, you know?
Right.
Because
Right.
I was looking at Winky
Right.
Wright. When Winky Wright, I was looking at the fight where he fought Jermaine Taylor and like it turned out to be a draw and he was like really pissed. He went into his next fight. He was still mad about that because I guess he wanted to, he didn't like what happened. So he took it out on, what's his name, Ike Corte. So you could like see and feel the energy with these guys before. But now it's like you jump on Twitter, say a few things, and you move on. And it's like tell the fans a few things and get them to make a few videos. And it's like, okay, we might see the fight.
It's so like shallow now. And then it's just like, it's the overkill. It'd be one thing if, they went back and forth on Twitter. Next week we got a contract. That's not happening. They went back and forth on Twitter. They cool again. They going back and forth. You know what I mean? That's what's going on right now. It's not like, Twitter is actually making fights. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening.
Yeah, man. But you know what? Another highlight of this year. We had some good highlights, man. For I know P, you on you might have to check out some of the fights, man. But women's boxing, they've been picking it up this year, man.
I know Clarissa had a.
What'd you say?
I said I know Clarissa had a big fight this year, right?
Yeah, Clarissa and Savannah
I was
Marshall.
a couple of months ago. Yeah, Savannah Marshall.
Yeah.
So yeah, without a doubt, the women, like it seemed like in all realms, they like just stepping up too, ain't just music world, just everywhere, just women, just doing their thing.
And Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano had like a fight of the year. They had a good fight, and you know what? It was one of the Paul brothers behind her, helping her get that fight. So you know what I mean? Like you can see, like not only is he getting his foot in the door, but he got her a big fight. He got her the biggest fight that could be made for women's boxing, next to anything Clarissa does. Like to me, I was like, man, like if he just did behind the scenes, that would be cool. I don't like seeing him box, but if he just be like a manager, that's fine. Because he's
and that's the thing. Even if he does have ulterior motives, we still getting the people, the boxing fans still getting what they want. And who knows what his full scheme is, you know what I mean? But right now he talking about fighter pay. He getting people some of the bigger fights that they could get. And that's worth a lot in the fight game. You know what I'm saying? That go a long way.
Yeah.
That go a long way. So if he can keep doing that, he'll be getting more and more support, you know what I mean? If he keep showing up and proving and coming through for people like that, different fighters, they ain't gonna have no choice but to support it.
Yeah, especially when she said, on record that he got me the biggest paydays I ever had in my career. He got the biggest paydays he ever got, Serrano. So it's like she's gonna represent him as long as he get her paid. I mean, I have no problem with that, man.
Exactly.
Maybe if he can get his hands in the Spence and Crawford, maybe he can give them the push, man. I mean, got to do something to get it made.
The thing about it though, is for men, it's hard for a man to take him seriously, and I couldn't even take him seriously. He come in the room, he got this hair going on. So like,
right.
I can see the boxing world, him getting some resistance unless you like people like Jay Leon, they on his team and they getting paid and all that stuff or whatever. But he, his public image is such a goofball that it's gonna be hard for like some of these serious fighters because they no nonsense. Some of them ain't, they not on that type of time. So just taking him seriously, because even me, and that's why I say it's hard for me to accept that somebody like him is doing good in the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? And I gotta give him credit. I gotta bow down to him. You feel me? So I can see how things could be, it could be some resistance and, in the beginning, then maybe over time, once things have been proven, you know, things might look even better for him. You know what I mean? But I get it though, bro. I get it. Him walking in there with that hair flopping around, and yeah, come on, man. People not taking that. You know what I'm saying? They
No,
not.
they're not.
You
They're
know,
not.
so,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I'm
you
like.
snatching Floyd hat off, all that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't turn into this character that it's hard to take seriously. You know, it's different for a female. You know, he ain't gonna do that with a female. He going, you know, a female is a different vibe with a female. You know, but a guy like, I don't know what this dude up to. You know what I'm saying? He snatched my hat. I'm a rock his world. You know, who they don't
Right.
know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he bringing too much of like a clown energy to be taken serious as a fighter. That's why I said, man, just be Eddie
For like
Hearn
the
and stay
men to
behind the
really
scene.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I say, if he keeps showing and proving, then you know people don't really have a choice but to support it. If he getting the fights that you want and getting you the paydays, that's what you in it for. You know, so
yeah, that's the and that's what I got respect for because she probably one of my favorite women's fighters in boxing. And I'm saying if he can get her on like that, I mean that's all right with me. I mean, yeah, like putting them on Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, their card as a whole, it was like it sold out. I'm like, yeah, like that was a big moment for women's boxing 2022. But I tell you, them two
because
girls,
it was an
Michaela
all woman
Mayer.
card, right?
Yeah, it was all woman card. Michaela Mayer and that Felicia Baumgartner boy, like I think that's what Crawford and Spence need to do. They need to take it back to some real tension like they were doing. I mean, they was going at it, man. Like,
yeah.
When they did that documentary, Andre Ward and Tim Bradley, I was like, they was going at it in there, man. And it was like, it helped build up that tension of the fight. So to me, I was like, these women are showing up some of the guys now, man. Like you see, the first thing Ryan Garcia and them do now is go to Twitter and be like, "Oh, Tank, he grabbed me by my shirt or something. He don't know how to talk." He on Twitter talking to us. I'm like, man, dude, go talk to him. You approach Tank, man. Like, I ain't buying this. Ryan. Like, you supposed to be the tough guy. Like, you a fighter, man. Like, why you telling us? Like, get off of Twitter and go approach him. But he ain't gonna do that.
Or you see them in public and they cool with each other, then they get on Twitter and they talking trash. It's like it's just so like it's so like just fake right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, hopefully 2023, man, they can pull it together because it's good fights out there to be made. We just gotta get them made.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta get them made. You know, yeah, a lot of good fights. I mean, so I don't know. It's unpredictable, and people can sit here and say all day, "Oh, this is gonna happen this year." Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows.
That's how it is with boxing. Like before, it was still like I think HBO boxing was a good thing, man, because like when you knew everybody was under contract with HBO, like with PBC, you know who gonna fight, but like when HBO had a schedule to make, you knew who was gonna fight, kind of. You pretty much knew certain dudes was on the contract and they were gonna fight.
Right.
Roy was fighting, Hopkins, Mayweather. There was never a point where we was like, I don't think they're not gonna fight. Even like when Andre Ward and Kovalev were gonna fight, I was like, we got a date. You know what I mean? But these dudes now is just a little bit too much freedom in boxing, where they get to do whatever they want, man. And I think that's what keeps it, like you said, P, is like we don't know. That's the first. Like if anybody asks you at work, like what's the next big fight, you're gonna be like, I don't know.
I know, and people ask me that all the time. I know what's the next big thing going on, and it's hard to really say. Mm-hmm. It's hard to really say because I mean something will be official, then it ain't official. Somebody was dirty. This happened. Anything, you know, that can happen be happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'm the same way, man. Like dudes, ask me now, and I just kind of like shake my head, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I was like, I'll let you know if something happened, but as of right now, I don't.
Yeah.
That's how it was last year. But I mean, hopefully this year pick up. Like besides Spence and Crawford, what's another fight that we need to see happen this year, P? Like in 2023.
Um, I would like to see a Usyk and Fury.
Yeah.
Get another undisputed. You know what I'm saying? See how that style, those two styles match up and how they clash. I mean, a lot of people saying Fury gonna wash him. He might. It's a high chance that can happen, but I still think it would be an interesting fight to watch. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's for all the belts. So whether it's interesting or not, it's for all the belts. Because that's another thing I want to bring up real quick too. And it's like that's another thing. And for boxing fans, we want to see. Well, me personally, and I do believe a lot of boxing fans, we want to see undisputed champions. We don't care who they are. We don't want to see all these belts all over the place. We want to say, this is the man at 135. This is the man at 140. This is the man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's another reason why y'all need to get these undisputed. Y'all real close. It's real close. It's a fight away. And we can't make it happen. You know what I mean? So that's part of it too, man. We want to see who's the best at these weight divisions. And right now we can't say because there's a lot of politics going on. You know what I mean? It's not just Earl Spence fans or Terrence Crawford fans. Okay, they have an intricate part in the welterweight division right now. All the belts. You feel me? Nothing can really
Mhm.
happen without them, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like either fight or do something. Do something because it's not fair that they just holding all the belts captive.
Right. Right. Yeah. When you
In my
just
opinion, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
makes
in my
sense because
opinion.
yeah, no, it makes sense because it's like you got you got it this close to the edge and y'all don't want to take it there. Like what are y'all waiting for? That's a big question. It's like what are y'all waiting for at this point? That's why even like I said
One
with
fight, it ain't like it. Belts all
yeah,
scattered at. That's one thing. That's I got to go over here and go over there and go over here and go out the country. No, it's one fight. And
yeah,
we have an undisputed heavyweight, undisputed welterweight. We got an undisputed 154. We have, what else? What else is on the table? You feel me? So I'm just
right.
saying, let's get it popping where we got a best in every division.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing about
Jamel Charlo is the best at 154.
yeah, we know.
Right
Yeah,
now,
that's a
he
good
got
thing.
all the
Yep.
belts. He's the best.
Yep. He got his on lock.
You know
Devin
what I'm
Haney
saying?
got his on lock,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, Devin Haney is the best. He got all the best. That's what I'm saying. Let's finish it off in 2023.
Yeah, so
That'd
I
be
need
crazy to have a whole bunch of undisputed champions like that, eh? That'd be crazy, bro.
it'd be wild. Yeah. And then we need that better BF and Bivol fight. That's another one. They're one fight away. Make that happen this year, man.
Yeah, because that'd be undisputed too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'll be
Yeah,
undisputed.
wow. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's a lot going on. And then at 175, Caleb got a belt. Benavidez, do he still got a belt?
Yeah. Does he? I
I
don't.
mean, what at
Oh, 168. Yeah.
168? What are they? Yeah, 168.
Yeah.
Both of them
I
got
don't.
belts.
I think Caleb. Yeah. I think Benavidez got his belt back again. Yeah. So yeah. No. No.
And then
Because Canelo still got all them belts in 168.
but he must got three. And well, no, because Caleb. He took Caleb belt. Yeah, Caleb don't got a belt no more.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think neither one of them do now. Because yeah. Because remember, Canelo became first undisputed Mexican fighter at 168.
Okay, so
Yeah, so neither one of
Canelo
these guys
got
got
all
belts
that
now.
stuff.
See.
So we got a 168 undisputed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, sky's the limit. Canelo and Benavidez, really Canelo and Benavidez. That's what people want to see.
Yeah.
We already seen him in Plant.
Yeah. They
Well,
can
we're
make that
seeing him in
happen.
Plant. So But I didn't realize it was so many undisputed and so many possibilities of being undisputed, in the game right now. So that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least
Yeah.
we all know with their divisions that who the best fighter is. But welterweight is the
Right.
one where we got two, and they are just not making it happen, man. They are not making it happen, man. It's like this is the one, man. And the longer
And
we
it's
wait, it
so
goes stale.
crazy, Ant, because it's like the fans are like 50-50. 50 of them believe Earl's the best. One for the other 50 believe, and it's like it's really hard to say till they fight, bro. You know what I'm
It
saying?
really is.
Like
Yeah, it is.
you can look at some divisions and say, yeah, Haney, the people that's in there right now, he the best. Certain divisions you can say that, you know what I mean? But this, we really can't say until they fight, Ant, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one is just
Really can't say.
yeah. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, Crawford's the best," or "Oh, Spence is the best," but I'm gonna be like, you can keep arguing. I was like, I ain't gonna say that until they fight. I'm gonna be like, man, until one of them come out and dispute it, that's the only time I'm gonna get my answer. Yeah, I said, okay.
That's it, bro. That's it. I mean, both of them got pros and cons, and if you really look at them, a lot of them probably do cancel each other out. So only way we would know was when they step them styles clash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because all you see now is people videos, the live stream saying, "Oh, Crawford got him scared," or "Oh, Spence gonna knock him out." I'm like, yeah, sure, you can keep arguing. I'm like, but you ain't gonna know until they actually fight. I mean, at this point, we all
Right.
just like in the same boat, and it comes to a point when we just like, that's enough talk. We just need to see the fight. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I say. In the beginning, I get it. We was,
Yeah, I get
the
it.
fans was standing their grounds and marking their territory. I get it. But now it's like, yo, we getting kind of mad. We like,
Yeah,
yo, we've been supporting and we out here going to war with each other, people getting threatened and all this nonsense, and the fight ain't happening.
like 3
And you
years,
see
like
them and they nonchalant about it.
yeah. Like at least when Wilder Fury fought, we had our little breakdowns and people talking, but we had to wait 3 years for this. Like I ain't gonna talk about this fight for 3 years. I ain't going to war with nobody for 3 years. Let me put it that way. I ain't gonna keep on riding with somebody and they ain't gave me the fight yet. I mean, at least Fury and
Right.
Wilder done give us 3.
And then even leading up to the fight, they made it known that they wanted to fight each other. You ain't
Yeah,
never
yeah, they
seen
did.
Deontay Wilder act, nonchalant about fight. He getting lit, he getting loud. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Fury was talking trash. So it's just like I say, you do see there's a lot of respect amongst them, even though they might go back and forth on Twitter, but there's still a lot of respect amongst them. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
it could get ugly, it could get nasty.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
it do.
That's
It
easy.
did. It has.
Yeah. But I mean, even think of Terrence Crawford and Benavidez. Benavidez was being real disrespectful, and Terrence Crawford came to the gym, and that got kind of ugly.
Mm-hmm.
This Earl Spence and Terrence ain't nowhere near that right now. Like it was some times in that where that looked real to me. I don't know if they was hyping up the fight, but Terrence really looked mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And the situation really looked a little tense. I ain't seen no tense situations between them two. The most infamous thing they show, they laughing and joking when they
Right, and
together.
that
The
was
thing
like
from
what
3 years ago.
2018.
Yeah, I would say 3-4 years ago. They wasn't mad.
Mm-hmm.
They talking trash, but they laughing and joking. So we ain't really seen them around each other being intense.
Yeah, yeah. So they they have held out too long now. Like people just want to see it. That's why I say, there's no more. You ain't gonna hear me going on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube going to bat for either one of them now. It's like, yo, both of y'all need to do what you need to do. I mean, there's certain moves Spence could do. There's certain moves Crawford could do to make this fight. Because I'm sure if they met in the middle, boom, you got to fight. It's like it has always been in the past. But somebody wants to hold
Yeah,
out.
ain't nothing. No, That's what I said. Ain't this fight ain't nothing special about this fight that it can't get made. It ain't like ain't no language barriers, ain't no country barriers, ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. It's
Yeah,
them. It's nothing. It's nothing stopping this, man. This fight is not no more important or no more complicated than any other fight that we ever seen, bro. It's not.
right.
It's too American. It's just that's the frustration of the fans. Is like, why? Why do it feel like it's two overseas fighters? You know what I mean? We feel like it's Beta
Yeah,
Bev and Bivol. You know, we trying to get them to fight in Vegas or something. You know, nah, bro. It's not that. It's not that. So, like I say, man, it's very frustrating for people who want to find out who's the best. That's why, like I say, some people don't watch boxing for the trash talk or the knockouts. They into the sport. They follow the sport, the fundamentals of the sport. You know, working your way up, prospect. I mean, challenging the prospect to contender, and just doing all the stuff the way the game goes, and
yeah,
looking to see who's the best in each division. So, I think that's what it's all about. You know
oh
what I
yeah,
mean? That's what it's all about.
oh yeah, yeah, man. That's what it come down to, the actual performance, bro. But I know another fight I'd like to see, man. I'd still like to see. I know Boots got a fight coming up, and he been, if he wins this, he gonna be calling out for the champion. I mean, I still want to see Boots fight Ugas or something, man.
That'd be a great fight. I
Yeah,
think I heard some whispers to that, and Ugas was like he was all about it or whatever. But I like the kid. I like what I've been seeing at, but it's nothing we never seen before. It got to be tested. It got to be
mm-hmm,
tested, bro.
mm-hmm,
Until it's tested, all that. He's the best, and he'll beat Earl. He'll beat Terrence. That's it's possible anything can happen, but he still got to be tested because we seen all the fancy, the speed. We seen he ain't doing nothing we never seen before, and I like
mm-hmm.
Boots a lot. I'm just saying, we gotta get him in there with something like a Ugas. That'll be a great test to see where he really at. Ugas will push him and take him into some places to see if he really got the goods, and then after that we'll see what happens. But I love that fight for Boots. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah. That's a good one, man. Needs to
Who
happen.
got fight? As far as testing him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. He is a test for him. Mm-hmm. I know Jamel Charlo, his fight got canceled because he broke his hand. He was fighting Tim Zoo, and I think that's a blessing for Tim Zoo because I think Tim Zoo was gonna get worked, man. Like I've been seeing Tim Zoo, and he's the son of a champion, a legend, but Tim Zoo, I don't know if he's ready for that, man. I don't know if he was ready.
See, I ain't that familiar with him, man. So that wasn't really no threat to Jamel. He ain't got it.
Nah, I don't think he got it like that, man. I know a guy from Australia that he don't even represent him, man. He like, man, Charlo gonna wax that dude. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I ain't seen nothing special, man. I haven't really like seen anything in him that was gonna make. I think that dude Fundora might give Charlo a better fight.
For real.
Yeah,
What's the name? Don't he have his father like power? He ain't got that pop.
uh, he got some pop to him, but he just kind of, what does Floyd say? Just no special effects, just straight up and down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, P. I'm looking forward to this year, man. Even with us, man, we're gonna get back to rocking with y'all, and we growing. Your channel growing, I'm growing, so we're going to link back up and definitely get on here some more because I had some people ask about us, man. As some people asked about us, I was like, yeah, man, we gonna be right back where we used to be. Things just be happening, things
Yeah,
be
for
happening,
sure. But
for sure, man.
always saying we already carved the lane, so
Mm-hmm.
it's I hop back in it, So of course, man, we've been a long road, man. I
Yeah,
can't believe all this time went by, but it's been a long road. But the one thing we gotta both say to each other, we just kept going and still going, man.
yeah, man. Because I meant to tell you, man, I was on a live stream, man. one of my partners was doing MMA, and I went to live stream over there, and some dude, he used the pun, man. He was like, or he used a little whatever you call it, and he was like, dude was using the jab effect, and I was like, huh? I was like, I caught that, man. The dude was like, oh, I see you caught that. I was like, yeah, I caught that, man. I was like, okay, so you've been listening. I was like, okay. I was like, I appreciate that, man. So yeah.
Wow.
And that was the
You
MMA
never
one,
know
but
who
he was
listening.
listening to us. So I was like, okay, that's respect, man.
Wow.
So yeah, man. You just never know. You just never know, man, who be listening. So yeah, I was like, yeah, we got to get back on that, like bringing something new to the people as well, But
Yeah.
But yeah, P, I mean, that's about all I have for this show, man. I mean, what else is on your mind? You got some final thoughts or anything you want to talk about here?
Nah, man, just like you say, ending on that note, we've been doing it for a minute. Like I'll be saying off the mic, like I've told you off the mic before, we seen people definitely like just skyrocket off, in the midst of us doing our thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we just been still slow and steady, just grinding, and our time going come. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's out there for us or whatever. But I'm just saying, it's been a beautiful thing. It ain't a hateful thing, but we didn't just seen the stuff grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't watch boxing, people don't know this stuff exists. And like I hate talking about it because it sounds kind of crazy if you're not a boxing fan. When I say it's huge boxing bloggers, you know what I mean? They don't really, they can't grasp something like that. You know what I mean? So, but it's just amazing how we do got our little subculture, and there's people actually out here prospering off the sport of boxing. Some of them don't have to take punches. You know what I mean? And so it's just a good thing, man. I'm just sitting back watching and learning.
Oh yeah, something to appreciate though, and that's what makes boxing special, man. It ain't like with football and basketball. There's a lot of those platforms, and you got big ESPN and Fox supporting those, but where boxing is kind of neglected, that's where we pick it up,
Right.
So that's always a good thing, man.
I mean, those networks, they only cover huge fights, but you're not going to get down into the trenches about the sport of boxing except online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure, man. But before we rock out of here, P, let everybody know where they can follow you at.
Y'all can catch me at Loud Pack Boxing on IG. You can catch me at Loud Pack Boxing 1 on YouTube. And that's really it. And you can catch both of us on IG at The Jab Effect. And you can catch us on Facebook at The Jab Effect as well.
Yes, sir. All right. And you can catch this show, Jab Podcast, on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can check us out there. And you follow me on YouTube at Combo Breaker 99 and IG at Combo Breaker 99. But yeah, Happy New Year, everybody, again. And P, yeah, gonna have I'm staying positive. We're gonna have a big year in boxing, man. 2023 gonna be a big.
Yeah, we're gonna set it off for 2023, man. We're setting it off,
man. But yeah, like always, I'm Combo Breaker 99, y'all.
It's your boy P.
And we out later.